This morning, I want to welcome the Honorable Madam Justice Maureen Rajnath Lee, Judge of the Caribbean Court of Justice, to share with us this morning how they are educating people about, Caribbean women jurists. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jaron, and I understand Natalie and Nicole are there. So good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
All right. So before we get started on what you're doing to pioneer Caribbean women jurists, tell me a little bit about the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Well, Jaron, you may know the Caribbean Court of Justice was inaugurated in Port of Spain in 2005. The Caribbean Court of Justice is really two courts in one. We have an original jurisdiction where we sit as an international court, and we interpret and we apply the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. We also determine disputes under that treaty. And of course, we have an appellate jurisdiction where a lot of people are familiar with that. We hear criminal and civil appeals, and for those countries that have acceded to the appellate jurisdiction of the CCJ.
Okay, so
I think that's it in a nutshell.
But so the Academy for Law, is it an affiliate of the court?
It's really the educational arm of the court.
Right.
It's been established for about 10 years, and it seeks to educate, inform the public, the legal profession, the judges throughout the Caribbean on matters particularly pertaining to international law and other, more complex issues.
Okay, so that's set up just for education purposes, basically.
Basically, but it has a far reach. And I said the region, but sometimes it affects even wider than the region into the world.
Right. Okay, and then tell me about the project that you're working on, the Eminent Caribbean Jurists Project.
Well, the Eminent Caribbean Jurists Project was really the brainchild of my co-chair, Justice Winston Anderson, judge of the CCJ. And Justice Anderson thought that persons who had served the region for so many years should be recognized and honored. And in 2019, the first project started with honoring eminent international law jurists. So Sridhar Ramphal, Justice Patrick Robinson of the ICJ were among the judges, international judges, who were recognized in 2019. And so when it came to our second batch to honor, we thought, what better persons to honor but women? I mean, women have been the backbone of Caribbean society for so very long. And so many of our women, Jaron, have served in places and have felt unrecognized, so that we thought that it was just time.
So what was the criteria for selecting the woman?
Well, the criteria, first of all, of course, you had to be a woman. You had to be a jurist, an expert in the law, so to speak. You had to have, as I mentioned, served the Caribbean people for a long time. And we didn't want just judges alone. We wanted persons who had served in a wide variety of fields.
Okay.
And you had to be what we call a pioneer, which is why we call it Pioneering Caribbean Women Jurists.
Ah, interesting. Now, you see, it's getting interesting for me because I know that there's a pioneer, jurist. I guess she was a jurist at some point. Now she's a lot more than that. But do we know any of these women? Let me just ask.
If we know any of the women,
yeah. Do we know some of them? Do we any familiar names that we might be aware of?
Oh yes. Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad, is one of our eminent Caribbean jurists. And the book that we are launching on Tuesday will contain a biography of her, as well as 33 other prominent, eminent women jurists. Of course, among those will be the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, several Chief Justices and women who have distinguished themselves in a variety of fields. Trinidad and Tobago will know Professor Rosemary Bellantwine in legal scholarship. The late Dana Seethal will be
nice.
posted there, and in a bio written by her sister and her niece, as well as so there are several women.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Did the Academy deal with getting the research together to write these biographies, or is it just like with Dana, where you had family reach out and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we had a lot of different people write, from family members to persons who were just admirers. They had known the person for a while, and there were cases where the persons have passed and have passed for a while. So there were people who were interested in doing the research, historians, so to speak, who also took it upon themselves to research the lives of these women and to write. So that we do have about 7 women in that group of 34 who have passed.
This is fantastic. This is great work, and I think it's definitely important work. Tell me, how can we access this book from tomorrow?
Well, we are taking pre-orders soon, and at the launch, we will speak more about that process. But can I say a little bit more about the launch then, or are you going to get to that?
You go ahead. Go ahead. Tell us about the launch.
Good. Well, we launch in a virtual book launch. Imagine that, Jiran. I mean, when we first planned this, never did we think that we would do everything that we have done for this virtually. And just to say that the launch will be on UETV, on its website, live streamed on its Facebook page, and also carried on all the flow channels throughout the Caribbean. So we're looking forward to that. That's on Tuesday, tomorrow, Tuesday, at 6 p.m. Trinidad and Tobago time.
All right, so tomorrow at 6 p.m. we can check out all of UE's social media handles and pages, as well as their YouTube channel, and we can get the streaming of the book launch. Yeah?
Yes.
And we'll get all the details.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that the book will be available towards the end of the month.
Okay.
So we will be taking pre-orders because there's so much interest already in the book.
Okay, so by tomorrow we'll know about the pre-ordering process and that kind of stuff, yeah?
That's right.
Fantastic. Tell us about any other aspects of the Caribbean Women Jurists project that you want to share with us this morning.
Well, I want to share that even though we're honoring 34 women, we started with over 80 women nominated by institutions, organizations, persons throughout the Caribbean. Because what we've tried to do is honor women from Belize, coming down Jamaica, Haiti, throughout the Eastern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Guyana. So that we had over 80 women, Jaron, and we had a PCWJ selection committee, which was just a committee of independent persons across a widest cross-section of the society, people from gender, history, all different fields. And we got together and we whittled down these 80 plus women to 34. So that even though someone did not make it in the last 34, there were so many other women who have contributed so much to the Caribbean society. So I want to say that because I don't want anyone to think that they didn't see a particular name there and that we disregard it. It was a very, very robust and transparent process to get the 80 plus down to the 34.
You know what it says to me? It says that we need a part 2 to the book.
I'll tell Justice Anderson.
I'm just throwing it out there because clearly we need to, I think that it's important for us to continue to collect our history, to collect our present so that we can tell those stories and showcase these people to the future generations.
I so agree with you. And can I say something about the launch itself tomorrow?
Sure.
I think your viewers would be so very interested to learn that apart from the normal speeches, and we've had too many speeches, but apart from that, Professor Bridget Brereton, well-known professor of history, will do a review of the book.
Oh,
and
nice.
we'll go through, yes, it's a wonderful review, and we'll go through the lives, just touching briefly the lives of these women.
Nice.
We will then have presentations to 4 of them. I can only say, I want to do a little teaser that Her Excellency, the President, will be one of those.
Nice.
And that it will then be followed by certain readings by Justice Barrow, Judge of the CCJ. So that I think the viewers, it's short and sweet, And I think the viewers would be very interested and will enjoy the book
Definitely.
launch.
And
I encourage everyone to come on.
To come on out at 6 p.m. tomorrow on UWI's Facebook pages, YouTube channels. You can check it out. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Honorable Madam Justice Maureen Rajnath Lee, thank you so much and congratulations on the book.
And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we get into the German embassy and what's going on over there. Let's find out when we come back. All right, stay tuned. It's the Now Morning Show.